Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm coming back at you with another video, and today we got our first music review, and we are reviewing The Weeknd's After Hours. This record was released earlier in the year, March 20th of 2020. I remember this record being released greatly actually, because it was the very beginning of quarantine. And let me tell you, I was so fucking excited for this record to drop. This was because of the three singles I heard before the record drop, which was Blinding Lights, Heartless, and After Hours. Those songs are great, and they were three amazing singles, so it was no wonder I was excited because I thought those songs were great. I thought they were amazing. They were all unique and distinct. I mean, how can't you like a song like Blinding Lights? That song's amazing. The passion in Abel's voice, the amazing 80s like production. Honestly, what is there not to like about Blinding Lights? I think this song is great and one of the best songs of 2020. Then to Heartless, another great track accompanied by a amazing music video. Now, I know a lot of people have complaints about the lyrics in this song, like when he says, I've been running through the pussy, need a dog pound, but that's not really a big issue for me. A lot of people say like that's fucking whack, but I personally don't see it, and I think it's a pretty solid lyric, honestly. I really fuck with Heartless, and when I first heard it, it was honestly better than Blinding Lights in my opinion, although I don't think the same anymore. The song is still great. Then onto the third single, which is After Hours, which is just amazing. It's an amazing vibe. It's an amazing song in general. The lyrics to the instrumental, everything is just great about this song. Lyrically, it's great. Abel singing, great. I'm telling you, when I first heard this song, I listened to it like 10 times straight. I'm not even joking with you. And this song might be my favorite off the album. But then again, I do have like 3 separate songs competing for my favorite off of the album. It's just that fucking good. But enough about the 3 singles. I'm pretty sure you guys get the point. I think they're great, all of them. So let's just move into the actual record. Man, Abel really impressed me with this record. Everything, the instrumentals, the lyrics, the concept, the story. The aesthetic is amazing too, dude. Have you guys seen the music videos? Have you seen like his performances? It's fucking great. Now, I do want to say actually, for some songs there is something that annoys me where Abel sounds almost robotic, like in the song Alone Again. The song is still good, I like the song, but it just kind of annoys me when he sounds kind of robotic, because I more like hearing Abel's voice, hearing it real crisp. Like in Blinding Lights, you can straight up hear his voice. I just find when you can hear Abel's voice way more clearly and you can make it out that it's him, then it sounds way better than the more robotic kind of singing that he does in some portions of songs. Another complaint I kind of have is Abel making some kind of stalkerish type lyrics. Now that purely comes down to me not being able to relate to his lyrics, honestly. That does not mean that they are bad lyrics, it's just they're not relatable to me. But I can appreciate Abel's context in trying to put the listener into his shoes when singing lyrics like that. That leads me into my next point, which is Abel's storytelling and ability to paint an image for the listener is amazing on this album. Let's take for example Snow Child. Abel is able to put us in his shoes and show us what it was like from him being homeless to then blowing up and being a critically acclaimed pop star. He paints this picture and tells us this story really well, and I can really see myself in his shoes, and I really relate to him even though I've never been homeless in my life. I can see the struggles he went through and why he did the things he did. Abel's storytelling on this album is just amazing, honestly. I don't think there was a portion where I found myself confused from the story he was telling, the concepts he was trying to portray. Throughout the album, it was all amazing. Abel singing throughout the album, let's talk about that. That shit was amazing. You know why? Because he was able to switch it up so much. There were so many different sounds he used while still keeping the same type of aesthetic, if you know what I mean. We got amazing performances like in Blinding Lights, like in Faith, like in After Hours, like in Until I Bleed Out, just to name a few. I like how in songs like After Hours and Faith, it's more of a aesthetic song, it's more chill, it's more mellow, but he still gives an amazing performance. He still sings beautifully. But those songs, he's not as loud as like he is in Blinding Lights. This is why his performance on this album is so great. because he switches it up so much while still having it sound beautiful and amazing. I also love the concept of this album, which is basically him getting blinded by lights, aka Las Vegas, Sin City, and he portrays this to us throughout the whole album. We get little bits and pieces from every song telling us this whole big story of how Abel lost himself in the lights, in the city. And honestly, it was quite relatable, honestly. Even though I've never been through something like that, I can see why he did what he did. He doesn't try to justify it, he just tells us why this happened, why this unfolded. He never really tries to defend himself. He puts it all on the table and lets us decide. There are multiple times in this album where he takes accountability for what he did, and I just think that shows this kind of redemption arc of the character we're listening to in this album. There's actually an interview he had on Vanity where he kind of explained the concept of the album. He did it with the song Faith, where he talks about the character getting arrested by the cops after being blinded by the lights in the city, and that is somewhat of a true story. So I assume that the album isn't completely 100% true, but does have true aspects of Abel's life, because he does refer to the person in the song as the character, and he labels him as a drug monster. But he does say that the song is about him, but he got the idea for the song from that incident. I love how Abel shows us his downfall and then shows us how he was able to sort of redeem himself and sort of be content with himself after being blinded by all these lights, quote unquote. I like how the story sort of ends bittersweet, as Abel no longer is on drugs and is trying to get over the woman he was in a toxic relationship with, but at the same time, he still does not feel whole. I like sort of the 80s throwback calls, like in songs like In Your Eyes and Blinding Lights, because it's just amazing to see Abel switch it up from something we've heard before. This is not just any ordinary pop song. This is what separates these pop songs from other pop songs that are going around today. They contain different sounds, different momentums, different performances with a whole different sound. This was Abel reinventing himself, and he did it greatly, honestly. I can't tell you how many times since this album has been released that I've been singing the songs to myself in my head every day. Blinding Lights has been stuck in my head since it came out. Heartless has just been stuck in my head since it came out. He made incredibly catchy songs that sounded beautiful. Man, enough about me praising this album. I think you guys get the point. Let's get straight into the score. I think I'm gonna have to give After Hours by The Weeknd a 9 out of 10. This record's amazing. It's my favorite record of 2020 and one of the best records I've heard in a while, honestly. The Weeknd killed it on this album, and only for a few minor complaints, as I said. But like I said, one of the best records I heard in a cool minute. And after listening to this project, I actually checked out 2 of the other projects by The Weeknd just because of this album, and those were Beauty Behind the Madness and Kissland. If you want a review for those, let me know. Let me know what you thought of the record. I know there's mixed opinions about it. These are my thoughts for the record, and let me know what you got from it, because I'm actually very interested to see what concepts other people pulled from the album. I'm gonna start doing more music reviews. I don't know if this is gonna be huge records or I'm gonna just do them more often, or just good records. Well, I don't just want to cover the good, I do want to cover some bad, because yin and yang, you know, there's no bad without good, there's no good without bad. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. That's all I've had to say, and I'll see you in the next review. Late.